Hi, morning, Jeff. Looks like you're right about the euro. Remember, I mentioned yesterday about expectation of interest rate increasing because of the inflation problems they got there, and the incredible cost of oil is probably the biggest factor because they import it, as you know. And Europe did have a bit of strength. My problem is, are we going to get through? So, not sure I'll be chasing upwards, but we turned out to be right on that. We got a bit hammered on the euro yesterday, unfortunately. So yeah, you've got to put your hand up when you get it wrong. Hey, well, you didn't get it wrong, I got it wrong. I like your attitude there. Happy spring day. Yeah, this is it. I mean, I a lot of it's psychology. You get stuck in the way Euro's been weak. And then it feels like that without anything flashing across my screen. I have to sort of start thinking a little bit. And that's any logical explanation. As I say, I don't know, I'm not sure I'm comfortable chasing it up, but you might be able to persuade me. I'm not sure we're going to get follow through. We'll look at it just now. But the EuroCAD, unfortunately, got stopped out. Some people got in late in the Euro CHF and actually doing okay, I think. But the ones who got in a couple of days ago will be battling. But anyway, the others seem to be okay. So shouldn't really burst into too many tears. That's the main thing. This is all right to do. Obviously, no one's getting it wrong. We'd like to know the reason why. That's like the best I come up with. Out of interest, if you like the ASX, that's the Australian index, and the GR, the DAX, that's also an index, and that's back online. So if you want to trade those, they're there. Just mention that, okay? Yeah, well, I would have bought it, Jessica. I mean, no harm in modifying your stop. You get that when it comes off again. That's the game you play, the tightrope. But just a second, I'm going to put the video on so it's not on. I'll just minimize it all. Like, look at your handsome and attractive faces. But yeah, just minimize it there. Yeah, so downside. I don't mean to say it comes off and suddenly buy it. It could get to the 92 TP, but I just personally rather get stopped out by modifying than hang on for a TP materialize, and in the end you start taking a knock on it, which when you're nicely up is not a good idea. But it is coming off still, so that's fine. Not buying it yet. If it gets to the bottom, we can look at making buys, but not the moment. So you always say afterwards more faith. You weren't to know that anything. It's to protect yourself at all times. That's number one. There's a lot of ups and downs, maybe because uncertainty on world debt. The COVID situation is still sort of lingering a little bit, and incredible price of oil, the Ukraine situation. So there's a lot of skittishness out there. So rather protect yourself, and rather you banked 100 than try to go for 200. Losing 100, not a good idea. It does, but I'm not sure we're going to get the follow throughs there. That's what I mentioned earlier on. Anyway, it's past now, so we can continue. Yeah, sure. But I mean, let's be honest, we did okay in the CAD JPY, and the CHF JPY came nicely to the party. So those were winning trades, and the AUD, of course, winning trades, and the EuroCAD didn't. And some people still in the Euro CHF. Not sure that's going to pan out, but not sure we're going to get that much. Hang on, what's she saying? Do you find how do I? Yeah, because that's not a handsome face. I told her that joke that when I was born, I was so ugly that the midwife held me up in the air and smacked my mother instead. But no, I shift around a lot in my chair, so you can see me lean back because I've got this quite a fancy chair, lean back in. That's why, but that's not an issue. Okay. As long as you can hear my dulcet tones. Morning, Lorenzo. Right, where were we? EuroCH. What were you looking at EuroCHF? We'll start off with that then, shall we? Yeah, it's popped back below again. I'm not sure I'll be selling it again now. We took a knock on that. Some still in there doing okay, but the guys didn't give a knock. Wouldn't chase it now. We don't want to start revenge trading, but I'm not that confident to buy it. I'm not sure we get the follow through. And if I was buying the euro, I wouldn't be against the Swiss franc anyway, so I'd be a bit nervous. Yeah, that's jumping around. The CAD JPY is down, it's jumping around, but so I wouldn't be doing that. AUD is still in a profit. We modified the stop to whatever happens, you can't lose on it, so just let it run. Okay, jumping around a bit. It's not getting a lot of follow through. It's doing okay earlier on this morning, took out 106, as you can see. Not much to get out, and then it's dropped back again. It's just not getting a look at yesterday's candle, not getting a lot of follow through. I still see the upside on it. Maybe get 105.70 or maybe a little bit better. I still recommend a buy on it, even though I'm not getting follow through. I certainly wouldn't be shorting it, put it that way. And I'm not sure we're going to continue down with the Brent. I think it's going to hit maybe 90. It might get 90, who knows? And then it's going to hold and then bounce up. I mean, we'll see. Next the end of the week, or going into the end of the week, I think it is, between the OPEC meeting, they might start saying they're going to reduce, talk about whether they do it or not, reduce a little bit consumption. They want to keep it higher up there. I don't know that they're keen to, they got used to making all these profits, I think. Okay, so we'll look at AUD quickly. I haven't got much to do today, so I'm relying on you guys. Sorry, but I'm relying on you guys to come up with something magnificent today. Because we had the strategy room we always do in the morning after stake between us. It's an internal thing, and I couldn't find anything I want to jump in. I was looking at maybe a bounce in gold, but it's definitely going against the trend. We'll look at that, but I can find things really standing out. The euro did shake me a little bit. I have to be honest, even though it seemed to be more winners than losers, so I shouldn't really whinge too much. Shook me a little. But I'm not sure we're getting the follow through. Anyway, it's off. We've got a 68.80, so it's doing okay. So let it run. You can't lose in the trade. You should have modified, so let it run. Okay, I'm not sure about that. I think it's come down enough. I might get a bit of an oversold bounce in gold. I'm looking at the DXY at the moment. Where is it now? It is just dropped below 109. Strong, I get that, but it might get a bounce. Gold. Go back to gold quickly, as mentioned. Yeah, at 700 or 1700 rather, nearly quite made it. Seems to be holding. Might get a bounce. I certainly wouldn't be chasing it down from here. I think we probably get a bounce before it comes off. A high risk going against trend, maybe about, probably the safe, more prudent way is to look to get back to around about these levels there. As you can see on your screen, 1720 or better. Maybe able to short it down, but keep an eye on that DXY. Okay. Everyone should have it. If they don't, please let me know, and I'll copy and paste on the chat line for you. Yeah, Cheryl, I see upside on it. Not getting much follow through, but so what's the big deal on that? Normal story, you know what I mean? But at least it's holding the lows. If we can get 60, we're pretty good. Or slightly below 70. Look at 70, maybe something like that, and take it up. But modify the stop. The TP seems to be a bit of a dream at the moment, as long as you make a profit, what the hell. Okay. Okay, so the EuroCAD turned out to be a sudden disaster. I thought it hopefully might came right, but it didn't. So got badly stopped out there, but that's why you have a stopping the loss. Got the stop in at 631.80, and it got stopped out clearly. Now it's at 32. Will it get follow through? It's gone back into the neutral zone. I'm pretty sure it's neutral. Yeah, it's gone back up in the neutral zone. You all know what I mean by that. It's above there. It's the strong zone, neutral, weak zone there. It's gone in there, and it's closed with a yesterday above, the open above that, so it's neutral now. If we get the follow through or not, I don't know. If it takes it out, we'll look at a buy, but if it doesn't, I think we can still maybe get a bit of downside against the CAD, especially get a bit of oil back up again. But we'll keep an eye on that, but I'm not sure I'll be buying it here. Sorry about that, Seth. It's up to you if you want to do it. If anyone else wants to do it, I'll put up the calculator with absolute pleasure if you want to do it. But my personal opinion is hold 5 on that one for the moment. I'm not sure we're going to get follow through on the upside. Any comments? And I think you answer again. As always, your comments are invaluable, and it's very important you join in. And the other guys will learn from the other comments as well, because they can see, which I want to teach the new guys very, very quickly, the deity in the sky. I can no more gold price going to be in hour's time than the man on the moon. Not as many men on the moon. You know what I mean? So I want other people to come up with, even it's I've been wrong before and you've been right. Zef did okay there. As I say, yeah, it's important we have these discussions, and it helps me as well, because I can get stuck as well into a belief. So we can all learn. That's important. Cadges, at least hope it turns out around again, but yes, David Gee wasn't that. Sorry, some for quite got Cadges. Yeah, well, not exactly 100% like everything else in the world's markets. Always remember, sorry, repeat, it takes a buyer and a seller to make a market. If anything is a no-brainer 100%, you don't have a market. Who on earth is going to buy something off you if you know it's going to go down? Who's going to sell it the other way around? Who's going to buy it off you if you want to sell it and it's going to go down? Where can you get the product if you know it's going to go up? Because nobody's going to sell it to you. There'll be out there. There's someone who thinks you're wrong by the market. So overall, Canada, simply put, exports and produces oil. Japan does not. And I don't know who you are, where you are, until we find hydrogen fusion or nuclear fusion, that sort of thing, we are reliant on fossil fuels for transport. And so therefore everything's affected by oil. And that's why they're screaming like stuff, but what you would call it's in the Eurozone, including Britain, because there's a lot of people now in rich countries that are basically battling to make ends meet, which might seem normal over here, but it's not normal over there, and they're not happy about it, you know. And that's a lot of contributing to transport costs. Very expensive indeed. So Canada exports, which is therefore clearly going to be good for the economy. It strengthens the currency. Japan buys it in dollars. It's measured in dollars. They're on yen, and therefore that's one of the indicators to give an idea. So if that oil starts jumping up on Brent, I'm using Brent, I'm using Brent up to 100 plus, then they should have a Canadian strength and a weakening of the Japanese. Overall, oil is still expensive when it's at 90, 85 or so, which means they should have, in theory, more upside in Canadian against the Japanese yen. Makes sense. Okay, Cindy, I say Cindy, sorry, Cheryl. Okay, morning everyone. You're a dollar, yeah. You're going to sell the dollar, are you? Okay, so the EuroCAD, I don't give a follow through. I'm not sure I'll be buying it, but I'm not confident enough yet to sell it. But I think it could get some downside here. Okay, Euro dollar. No, you look for solar rallies on this one. I wouldn't be buying that. Euro's got a bit of strength, like I mentioned yesterday. Expect some students, guys. Beg your pardon. Where was I? Yeah, I'm pretty sure now I was correct in the fact that there's institutional expectation of interest rate rise because of extreme inflationary problems that oil prices are covering. Not the CPI difference yesterday, which did have a slight upside. It was a little bit more inflation, but not much. It's the inflation overall, which is coming from the high oil price. Therefore, the expectation interest rates will people will buy the euro on that expectation, even though it's not yet confirmed. and take, that's what they do. You're buying forward, if you like, from expectations going forward. Okay, not what's happening now, what's expected in the future. We know what's happened now, so that's not even up for argument. Hope you get what I'm saying with that. So have a little bit of strength crept in, as you can see over the last few days. However, if you're going to buy the euro, you're buying it. That means you're selling the other side. I won't be selling the dollar. It's dropped below 109 because that's going to be continual. I say it's not just me talking. A lot of guys thinking 110 on the index. So if you're going to buy the euro, I'd buy something against sell something a little bit weak in the dollar at the moment. I would personally rather be selling the euro dollar, but if I get a better price. I looked at it yesterday, but I wasn't that confident about it. So maybe sort of missed it. It's come off a bit, but 30 pips, and I'm not worried about that. No, so we didn't really miss that. If we can get a little bit higher up, maybe if you just bounce from here, it's a bit of support there, as you can see, which is pretty close to the parity figure of 1.1. Okay, if we can get it up here, maybe, if we even get it up here, maybe at a 1.080, maybe we can look at a short there, but I wouldn't be buying it. Okay, happy with that, Cheryl. This is my opinion. That's not set in stone. What I've just been mentioning last few minutes. That's just my take. I'd like to sell it again. If you're not in on the AUD, I'd like to sell it at a better price. See if the dollar can come a little bit. It's a tradable instrument, the DXY. We don't have it. I've asked about it. They haven't got it around to doing it yet, so we'll do it when they do it, I suppose. But it's a tradable index worldwide, and you get the buys and sells pushing up and down, profit taking, normal story. So you pull back a little bit, make sure you modify your stop and starts going up, take your profit, pops up again, then we can look to sell it down again, but not at the moment. I won't be chasing here. Might be wrong, but I wouldn't chase it here. Rather get a better price. If I miss it, I miss it. You're on board anyway, most of you, I think. Okay. Yeah, okay, we'll do the 20, well, I've got a 10 on there. I'll put a 20 on for you. Trend. Moving. Make it a 20, you said 20, hey. Use that funny, horrible looking green color. Use that one, there we are. Yeah, well, that's wrong. Beg your pardon. That was wrong. That's a bit of practice. It doesn't look right. That's just experience, then you can check it out. If you weren't to know that, you'd probably work on it. We want the simple one. That's what the majority of people use on it. Some exponential, mostly simple. The difference in exponential basically is it reacts more quickly to price action at the end of the line here. So this is a simple over 20 days. The exponential will change quicker over the latter end. I'll put one on for you just to show what I mean. Where is it? Just in case you don't know, just give me a second if it won't take long. It's not going to go off a fancy long training thing. Let's see, put an exponential in. What should I put? What should I put in there? Yeah, put that light in now. See what I mean? It reacts more quickly. So if you want to do the exponential, it might be an idea if you want to have that. It's just personal choice. Remember I always say the 50 and 200 absolutes. The 10 I quite like. The other ones is up to you. I mean, Jethro likes that one. If you like it, do it. If you might like a 15 and a 25. Some people like 21. So you know what I mean? It's personal choice. But the exponential might be, instead of the simple, maybe right around these levels here. It's up to you whether you choose that to sell it or the exponential to sell it. Okay, I'll leave it on, take it off to confuse people. Okay. You can play around with the R1 as much as you like. I need an overall picture, so I won't be doing the R1 for the trade ideas. It's too short. If you want to do that, it's your choice. Okay, I'm on you, under. All right. Okay, so sell the rally, euro dollar. I still feel that's the way to go. Euro strength, if you get an entry, maybe one can you buy it against the yen? But again, I want to buy it down here. I don't want to buy it there. Okay. So we covered that. AUD, USD, where is it now? 30, that's far too far away. No, I thought I had a way of talking about it. No, in fact, those who got an 80 have already reduced their stop loss to 80, so you cannot lose from the trade. You can reduce it further to 68.50. So those were still in the Aussie dollar from our original trade of yesterday, where we entered at 68.80, can move it down to 68.50. You bank, then you've got saved 30 pip profit, whatever happens. And if it goes on down, great. The stops you out, goes further up, you can enter again. Okay. Yeah, I want to buy it. Can we get a decent price on that one? Let's move on. Hope you've all got the AUD. If you didn't, ask me. Okay. I'm so used to, I tend to talk maybe a bit faster. So just say, what's that again? We do it. Yeah, I want to get around about 70 or better. If we get a bit better, maybe we can do it. What's it doing on the shorter term? Any more pullback? Might get a bit of a pullback. Well, what do you reckon? Do you want to enter now, or do you want to risk missing out and hope to get a better price? The 10-day moving average, that's the maroon one, seems to be holding. Do you want to re-enter it now? I'm not so against that, Warren, actually, to be honest. We'll put it up, see what you guys think anyway. We'll do the normal risk reward, but don't forget, modifying stop, it might not get there. That's a hell of a thing, isn't it? 22 pips is too close. I'd rather have it a little bit further down. Just below there. Make it 15. What the hell's happening now? 105.15. Probably get a risk reward there. I don't think it matters. It's close enough. You're probably not going to get there anyway, and you modify or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, so it's not ideal at 1.45, but yeah. Yeah, well, there you are. If you want to enter it there. Do you want to re-enter it there, guys? We've already had a winning trade on it. Maybe get another one out of it. Okay, Cheryl. It's done us good in the past. Not that big indication it's always going to be that way. I know it's grasping a little bit, but it's done pretty well in the past. We've certainly done a hell of a lot of them. I have in the trading room anyway, and by far the majority have come right. I'm not putting the commentator's curse on it now. Hey. But we all said rabbits this morning when he woke up first thing. As we used to say in the UK when we were kids. That's us taught years and years ago. Wake up on the first of the month, you say rabbit before you say anything else that gives you a good luck month. There you are. Shall we move on? It's a pretty tight range, but if you can grab 40, 50 pips, I don't think you're going to whinge. There you are. Okay, you know what? Don't double up, Jessica. No. You're going in, Cheryl, and anybody else going in? Warren, are you going in on this one? That's two to Warren. Anybody else going in? Oh, there's a few in. Oh, brilliant. Okay. If you're in, don't double. Obviously, I thought new guys. Okay. Had JP1. Put it out and go for another one. What was it? Make it one. We're getting slightly better risk reward there. So you can go in there. We'll call it 73. There we are. 1.105.73. 105.15. 106.65. Okay, right. This is just for people going in. I'm clearly. Some people find that confusing, or they double up. I'm not quite sure we get the logic there. But anyway, whatever. You got the Ferrari. Why buy another one that's looking forward, I suppose. Right. See how that goes. Okay, we'll start with that one. Quite like it. Okay. All right. Where did we mention just now? Just a second. Give me a moment, sorry. Do something here. Okay, right. Where was I? Yeah, we're doing all right now, Jessica. Hey, I think you're on. Knock this off. You've all got it. Always go back if you want it. Okay. The NAS came off quite a bit, as we all know. Some guys still insist on buying. I do not know why. Go with them. It's clear, mentioned many times, it's coming off, but they decide to do their thing. Well, doing that not too cleverly. I'm clearly not chasing it now. We've got a bit of support around the 12.1 mark. It might get the round figure 12,000. Could easily do how volatile this is before a bounce. It's now in the sell zone. I can expect a bounce from 12,000, but I'll be careful of buying the bounce, rather sell the rally. It seems to be the way at the moment. But if you want to buy the bounce there, if it occurs, yeah, maybe look at it then. But at the moment, yeah, it could hold here. We don't know yet. Okay, but I think from 12.1, well, just below, we might get a bit of a bounce. We'll see what happens there. Looking at the Dow on the other screen. And what's that doing at the moment? Just give me a moment to get all the clutter out of the way. It's flat. No, it's not. Beg your pardon, the wrong thing there. It's down 168 pips. It might come off a bit more. We'll see anyway. Okay, so just keep an eye on that. Gold could get a bounce around about 1700 because the index has come off it and they're still trying to get that 109. Be careful about sell the rally, I think, better there, as mentioned. We got to say AUD's okay, CAD was okay. The other one we did okay was the, where's it gone now? Was CHF JPY. That did okay in there. It gave us a bit of jip, didn't it? Today, but it started to come right quite nicely overnight. And it's nice in profit. We've gone at 142. Some guys gotten a lot better. Some guys got to think about 142, 70, 60, or even better, something like that. They have got a big smile on their face. And yeah, so that's doing okay. We might get some more upside. We wouldn't be chasing it now, clearly not. But just modify your stop, make sure you're in a nice profit. So if you're still in this one, guys, put up to 141.30. There you are. That's about 30 pips below the market level. And if you get stopped out, you made a handsome profit. If you don't, you make it even more handsome profit. You make film star looks profit then. I like that comment. We believe in winnings. I'm sorry, Jethro, but I don't think a lot of people believe in the losings. As Jordan Peterson says once, nobody really seems to want to be poor. But it seems to be an anachronism of the financial system. The majority of the people in the world are poor. So I'm not sure it's working for us too well, eh? Okay, so anyone want to look at the euro? We can look at it, but I'm a little bit suspicious of it at the moment. I'm not sure the extension of the upside, but we can look at it. CHJPY put at 142.30, 142.1, sorry, 142.30. I like those sort of questions because it means they're nicely in profit. So that puts me in a good mood. Put in a good mood, just put out how much money you make or a profit or something like that. If you want me to burst into tears, which is not a pretty sight, tell me how much you're losing. That hurts me deeply. That's correct, Cheryl. Right, I need a bit of assist for you guys today. It's going to be one of those days. I hate these days of trading when we can't find anything. But I went through the whole lot. Remember, because I got my charts, so I go pretty quickly. And I went the whole lot about 3 times today. Maybe I missed something to try and find something. I didn't look at the shares. There's no point. The notes never on something, as you all know. I couldn't find anything to jump into, which is unusual. Usually I find something. And I got 1, 2 guys who got me for me. I hate to say not at the moment. So I need a bit of help. We need to get some decent trades out. Decent being every word, not for the sake of it. But see if we can find something. I look at the AUD CAD right in the middle of no man's land. Okay, I'm going to take this off. It's getting in the way a bit. What should I take? The exponential off, yeah. It's getting in the way, but I don't want it too cluttered. Right in the middle of no man's land. Might get a pullback here. But am I confident enough? Not so confident, so I'll leave that. Roger, unfortunately, don't see anything. All sorts from more, but mine's a bit flat today. A lot of indecision. Thanks, Cheryl. Yeah, I couldn't. So if anyone can, we'll look at it. Might come across something by a bit of luck. We'll just go through it quickly anyway. Again, neutral zone. Would you be buying the AUD against the CHF? It's a bit of support there in the neutral zone. Not a lot of follow through. No. See where I'm coming? AUD JPY. Yeah, I like that as a buy, but I want to get it buy at a better price. It's going up to a bit of resistance. No follow through. No follow through. No follow through there. More worried about this guy here. So I wouldn't enter now. AUD NZD. I'm just going to go through this lot quickly. If I miss something, to shout. Okay. This one here, AUD is slightly stronger, but they're pretty even, Steven, a lot of the time. And NZD could turn around, do something, and change the situation around. I'm always a bit wary of this pair here. But again, backed up by indecision. Look at that. That's no trade at all. Hope you can all see what I mean. No trade at all. Look at that candle. Don't have to go through fancy stuff. That candle's telling you total indecision. It's getting the car, switching on the engine, pushing a foot in the accelerator and not letting in the clutch. Make a lot of noise, not going anywhere. AUD, we discussed that already, so we'll spend time on that. The Brent, still downside. If we get down to 92, might get a buy, but it's not there yet, so we'll leave that. CAD, they're both strong. So again, it's right in a tiny range there. Sorry. Tiny range there of only 45 pips. Look at that range between the two, both strong. Buy the range and make 30 pips with a 30 pip stop. It's not worth it. Not enough meat on the bones. So CAD JPY we discussed. CHF JPY, I think we're already in that one. As mentioned, it's doing okay. So at least we call that. EUR is giving us a bit of jip. Might come down, but I'm not sure if we get rushing in to sell this after getting a bit of a smack yesterday. So leave that. Hope you're not boring you at the moment. EuroCAD, what a coincidence. Just as I saw that, yeah, I'm putting it up. EuroCAD, would you feel comfortable to buy the euro against the Canadian dollar, number one? Number two, it's not in the buy zone. Remember, it's in the sell, it's in the neutral zone. Look, it's below there. It's not the buy zone. It's between the two. Would you be expecting a lot of follow through? If you were to buy it now, strong though it is it going to push past there? It could do, but I'd be uncomfortable. But I'm assuming you're looking at a buy on that one. I'm with Cheryl on that one, Jan. I expect to see that back below the 50, but we'll see on interest rates. That could change the situation. But I'm not sure I want to advise a trade on the preemption that is going to be one anytime soon, suddenly or whatever. That's really taking a gap. So I don't see enough follow through to make that trade worthwhile. If you were to do it, you'd need to aim somewhere up here, and that is 68 pips. Where you can put your stops, got to below the 50 down here somewhere. That's about 50, 60 pips. You're not getting anything like it. So it's strong at the moment, so I wouldn't be shorting it. The momentum's there, but there's not enough upside to buy it. Looked at it a few times, no. Euro CHF, same scenario. Now that's straddling the two, and this is the neutral zone, that's the sell zone. Didn't get the follow through. This held, bang, off it came. Maybe we should have had a stop up there. I know some guys are still at a stop up here somewhere. I might get a bit more downside. It's broke back to 98. We'll be chasing it here. I'm actually totally against it, to be honest. CHF is still pretty strong. I back the CHF still on the euro. We can still get a stop loss up here somewhere and take it maybe down here, but it's a bit iffy after what happened yesterday. Might be an idea to trade it next week. Don't forget jobless claims later on today. +2 every week. The weekly jobless claims today. Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index is coming out again today. It's the US, all US stuff here. That's it. No, it's all rubbish. That's the pound. Beg your pardon. ISM, that's the manufacturing index, also coming out in the States at 4 o'clock. So there's a couple of, and the big one tomorrow is at non-farms, jobs report 2:30. Just bear that in mind, more detail tomorrow. So probably wait till Monday on that, might be an idea, but I wouldn't be buying it anyway. I think that ship sailed for the buy anyway. Okay, so no trade there as far as I can see. You see, you want to get the stage where you can go through pretty quickly with practice. Right, that Euro GBP, I think that's spent. Okay, would I now say sell it? Well, the euro's quite strong at the moment. The pound will still wait for, I think it's getting to next week where they confirm it's going to be Richie Sunak or Truss. The polls lean towards Truss, Liz Truss as the new Prime Minister, but the polls have been wrong the last couple of times, and we're still not sure. So that's an abeyance. The pound's not that strong at the moment. There's a lot of poverty coming out in a fairly rich country for oil prices and the costs and all sorts of other problems, etc. So it's not that great. So I'm not sure the extent of the pullback, so it might get one, but I'm not sure the euro hasn't shot its bolt on that one to take it up. And I'm theory by looking at that candle. It's now 10 hours old exactly, and there's absolutely no just up or down. So I seriously don't see a trade there. But I hope you're all seeing what I'm talking about there. Is it? Okay, Ashley, that's fine. That's fair enough. But you see I'm getting, so there's no trade there. Obviously on my own, I go a bit quick. I'm just explaining where I want you guys to get to. I keep the charts simple, not too complicated, and you can start flicking through fairly quickly looking for a trade. Euro JPY, a little bit stronger Japanese. Are we going to get a follow through? look at that candle, no, not convinced, at resistance, no follow through, leave it alone. Euro NZD, probably some downside. Euro's got a bit strong at the moment, attacked the 200 in the neutral zone, came off. Now a few buyers have come back in again. Nothing there. See where I'm coming from, guys? Let's go on down. Europe, we discussed that already. We want to sell it at a better price, so we don't have it there. So go to the pound now. We're looking to sell it. Can we sell it there? Too much indecision. Came down, buyers came in, came down, buyers came in all the time. No follow through. That one. Another one we want to look at. This might be more of a possibility as a sell on this one. It's not much follow through. Let's have a look. Just make up certain that this might be bigger than it looks. What's this now? So that's only about 65 pips, that range over days, and there's no follow through to the downside. Is it worth 30 pips stop in for a 60 pip downside? It might be a short aggressive trade. That's about the best policy. What's the best, can't be the right word now, opportunity that we've had in the last 5 minutes looking through. That might be an aggressive short. The 10 seems to be holding. I would sell the pound against the Canadian any day of the week. You might get to the top of the range there. It seems to be holding. A few sellers came in. Do you want to take an aggressive, maybe 30 pip stop, 60 pip TP? Anyone want to do this as an aggressive short? What do you think about that? I'll give this. This is a must, Gerard, for the aggressive traders. Yeah, that's a must. That's the 200-day. That's a must, the 50-day. I'm using the 10-day. I just put it on because Jethro quite likes the 20, but I sometimes use some does not. But 10 I quite like, but that's not a must. These are individual choices. Okay, so that you must have 200 simple, 50-day simple move out. Make it nice and thick. Pick it. Happy with, make sure remember the difference between the two, and then go and save it. Go and save it. Right click, save templates, and save it so it comes up if you lose the chart. Okay, and then if you do lose the chart, just go to templates, and there it is lying there. Who asked the question? It was Gerard. You have Gerard 1 or Gerard 2, Gerard 3, or whatever it is, or a few different ones saved, and you're back in business again. Okay, simple as that. Hope that was clear. So, well, would you like to look at this? Okay, good enough, Clara. Right, this is an aggressive trade. I'm pointing out again. Don't forget, an aggressive trade. We're going to go short. How far is that? Maybe. Put it there. 150 1 1.5311. We can take it down, yeah. 1.5205. Make it 06 just in case. There we are. Yeah, you just about squeeze at an aggressive trade. The thing is, 1 micro is a 48 buck risk. You know, call it 50 rand a micro risk. That doesn't hurt anybody. The guys with small accounts can look at that, but that's aggressive. But I see downside there as a rent I get. Anyone do the aggressive one? I doubt it's going to be Cheryl because she's too much of a lady. You're not an aggressive. Hey, Cheryl? Oh, you're in. Cheryl's an aggressive. Oh, right. She's the new the lady now. We've got these aggressive ladies now, are we? Okay, we'll do that one then. Hoping it's all in fun, guys. GBP CAD. Oh, that's right, Marie. What's happened to Marie? Probably busy counting cows. She was great. 5311, yeah. 1.278, 1.5206. I'm going to put a little aggressive. So if it doesn't come right, I did warn you. Yeah. Okay, so there, in fact, there we are, 45 bucks a micro, if you want into now. Okay, so we'll move along from that one. We'll just carry on down. GBP, that's guys in. GBP CAD, where is this now? Ah, here. GBP CHF, that would be a sell, bottom of the range, no follow through. Then you can move on. Do you see where I'm coming from? Should be quick. Sell, obviously a sell, you know the sell against that. We look at it, tiny range, I think it's a tiny range, anyway, yeah. Range pretty small, yeah. Tiny range, stuck in it, no follow through, bottom of the range, not even aggressive on that, leave it alone. Pound GPY, both weak, shown in there, no, nothing there. Both weak, no follow through. NZD, probably a sell here. Again, went up, no follow through, went down, no follow through, leave it alone. Pound, we want to do it against the dollar, we want to get a better price. I want to do this. All right, I admit this. We could have had one at 1.18, I think it was yesterday, or no, a bit lower than that. Where was it? Yesterday, we looked some around about these levels. I was a bit gun shy of it, I think it was yesterday. Wanted to get a better price, didn't get the better price, missed the trade. She didn't lose, didn't win, didn't value in it. But it came off again, had a bit of a move down overnight. I'm not sure I'll be chasing it now. I want to sell it clearly. I want to sell it if it gets there. Maybe 1.1725. Keep an eye on the DXY. Don't forget, if it gets back up there, before you jump in, just check the DXY first. That's why I know when you're busy, other stuff to do, you do pending orders. If you've got the phone handy and you've got a bit of time handy, I'm not that keen on them because the situation might change. You might go up there, you got your pending order, and the DXY's come off, something's happened and it's weakening, then you've got your pending order kicking in and it still continues up. So you want to be looking at these levels here, checking the DXY as it comes off, then you can make that decision without the pending order to go in the market and send it down again. So keep an eye for that level there, just over 117, 1730-ish area. You can get that, and it's DXY is above 109 again. Great stuff. That's a profit-taking bounce, sell it down if it gets there. I'm not sure I'll be chasing it here. Okay, hope that's all clear. Leave the ZAR alone. It's exotic and the costs have been widened. So it's just not worth it. Okay, right. Not worth it, but not unless you're a specialist in it. Of course, it's worth it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have it. I'm not sure if they're the right thing here. Okay, that's a sell as well. It's getting close to the 50, so why don't we do it? I'm not sure we're getting enough follow through. That's why. This is the trouble, the follow through. We want to get in the car to go to Durban, not to bloody Heidelberg. See, look at that. There's no follow through. That's 50 pips. Why would you want to risk to make 50 pips over the last over a week or so? In fact, nearly 2 weeks. 50 pips. What for? And stop up here. Why? It's not worth it. Okay, so that would be normally a short, but getting no follow through. So I'm going to move it along from that one. NZD CAD. That's right. What's the next one? NZD CHF. Similar story. The bottom of the range. Wouldn't be chasing it now. Higher up, is there enough? Come on, is it? There we are. So look, chase it there, and then take it down to, see, there's just not enough meat on the bones either. Not worth it. Okay, where I'm coming from, guys. I want to go through it all with you quickly. You're learning what I'm doing here. That's even worse. One look at that, I'm moving away. NZD should be a sell. We mentioned this yesterday, like Aussie, but we've got a better one on the Aussie in this one. Bottom of the range. We want to set it higher up. CAD, both strong, makes me nervous. Top up there. Are we going to get fall to the upside? No confirmation of that. CAD's pretty strong. Might get a bought. Anything could happen there. Leave it alone. Both strong. The Swissy, and it's coming back. Wouldn't sell the dollar coming back. I'm not sure I'll be buying it there either because it might pull back further. Nothing there. And this ship has sailed. This one here sells, you can see. So that's quickly what I do in the mornings, go through the possibilities on the Forex. And I think you probably get an idea where you want to be with having your charts set up so you can, with a bit of practice, go through it pretty quickly until you see something jumps out of you. The index that we discussed and the gold we discussed and all we discussed, that is my problem. These are trading room days I dread. So anyone wants to do some, if you haven't got a trade that takes precedence, come up and tell me. If then we stop everything and go straight to that. If not, maybe we can do some chit chat, some overall training, not training like Forex class training, where you got the SMC where they go through all the stuff they teach there, but overall bits and pieces which we use quite a lot in the training room, which newer guys might have heard and picked up and want some more detail on it, or anything you're not sure of, we want to go over again. We can clean it up and make those things which we can control controllable. We want to be in top of those things. We don't want to go in wrong volumes, not understanding what margin means or a margin for. When we see derivatives, leverage, how do you work that out? How do you find out where the margin is? How do you get the DXY? Where's the business lines calculator? What's that quick moving average? Those I can clean up in a few moments. And yeah, we'll look at that if you like to share. We'll look at it. Those sort of things, or some economic stuff, basics. I'm not going to go into great depth. I'm not sure I'm an analyst myself, but yeah, basic stuff like that. We can maybe spend some time to make the time being useful, if you like. A little bit, but I mean, it's a long way till tomorrow. A lot of guys will be in and out by then. It's more of a concern tomorrow morning. I wouldn't panic on it now. Just going to go quickly to the little boys' room. We'll look at VA in a moment. I think that ship's sailed. We'll look at it. Okay, Lorenzo, hope to catch you this afternoon. Okay, Jerry, fair enough. Okay, right, BA. That's Boeing, and yeah, that's possibly a bit of a short there. Oh, hang on, even a buy there. I'm not quite sure what we want to do with that one. What do you want to do with this one? I sell, okay, sell a BA. Yeah, but the market's come off quite a bit. Might get a bit of a bounce. I know oil prices may be flying quite expensive. I get that. It's come off a bit, but it's in a bit of support there. Might get a bounce before it comes down. I'm not sure in the neutral zone. I'm that confident on it. But the point is, you're learning where I'm coming from here. See what I mean? Should be able to get that. I mean, also other things you can put in channels where you can put in a line up there and a line up there, and it breaks the channel upwards. You can take it, that sort of thing. There's a few things you can do. That's fine, but overall, I think this overcomplicates a lot of the time. I'm saying I see support there. I see a bit of momentum down, sure, but a bit of support there. It's in a neutral area. I just can't see. I'm confident doing either there. I sometimes use trend lines. I've mentioned this before, guys. Trend lines, Fibonacci, and support resistance, the primary ones used in trading. The other indicators usually personal choice and the 50 and the 200-day moving average. Okay. My hassle with trend lines is people put them in often in different places. I won't say wrong, but it's often wrong as well, to be honest, in different places. So remember, people react to the obvious in their face. Okay. You can look at the ceiling, unless you're completely 100% blind, you're going to look up and see that ceiling. So that high there is completely, utterly obvious. You can't miss it. But trend lines, people react to, but often the guys have trend lines in different places. They might use the body of the candle, they might use the wick of the candle, or they might use a different candle structure, putting the trend line through to another person. And I've looked at a lot of guys on trend lines and charts, and they often have them in different places. So they're often reacting to not a standard area. That's the best way to explain it. What do I mean? Let's develop that. That is standard. people use that. They often use the 100 as well, but not the same extent as these two guys here. So when it gets up there, because everyone's using it, they react to it. But if you've got a trend line here and a trend line there and a trend line there, it's different areas, so it's not always reacted to. But in your mind, when you put it on, you see that, you react to it, you jump in, and then wonder why it's getting ignored, because the other guys have had a different place, so they're not responding to it. Hope you see what I mean by that. That's why I use them. I'm not against them, don't get me wrong, but just bear that in mind. So going back to what I'm saying earlier on there, everybody can see if it gets up there as a high. Everybody can see that's high. Everybody can see that. It's clear, it's obvious. Everybody can see there's a bit of a low here. Everybody can see there's a bit of a low here. Again, that's obvious. Put a trend line in. Am I going to use the wick here? Where should I put a trend line going through here? Or should I use this one going through here? Or one going through? You get the idea. So that's the only thing I find. As I said, so because even on teaching, people, I've known people of pros say, I always only use the wick. I've seen pros only use the body. That by definition, you've got trend lines in different places. Or you might use the wick and push it through the body. I hope that makes sense. Just a bit of updating on that. What signal did you take I missed? You mean this morning? We looked at CAD JPY to get in at 70, 105. What have I got down here? 105.73. That's the one we looked at this morning. I think you were there for that one as a buy. If you're already in, don't do it. You might already be in and leave it. Some guys have taken out from a modified stop loss and want to enter it again, so they did it. It's about the same as it was earlier on. So if you want to do that one, you can. And the other one was an aggressive one. An aggressive one was a sell on the pound CAD. So that's what on that sum. So look at it. And we got on that one at 78, and it's there at the moment. We sold at 78. Remember, we're getting on that's the spread. We're getting on the sell there, and we exit on the buy. So it's exactly the same where it was earlier on. That's an aggressive one. Okay, so the both we got in. One is less aggressive. This is an aggressive one, and one's a buy, one's a sell. Those are two, and that's where we are at the moment. Anyone joining or missed that, we can go over it again. It's very quiet at the moment. Welcome, Osborne. Very quiet this morning. I've just gone through everyone, the entire Forex range we've got on the watch list quickly to see if we can find something, and I personally couldn't. So I'm chucking it on you guys. You can find something, fine. We can look at shares with pleasure. We've looked through the commodities we couldn't find. We looked at the indices we couldn't find. So we find something to share, fair enough. So that's why I thought we'd spend a little bit of time on maybe going through some training or clarification, probably a better word. Okay. We'll do that in a moment, Warren. Clarification if you want, because I can't find it unless you bring something up. That takes precedence. Well, this one we looked this morning, and we got in at 132.78 as a sell. Remember, we get on the bid, not on the ask. You're selling, get on the ask, not the bid, and you're buying. The difference between the two is called the spread. It's the spread between the two prices. That's the market maker spread, and that's the commission. Okay, now you know. She didn't. Right, we saw the pound being weak in the Canadian, got a political, not infighting, but going for who's going to be your prime minister. Coming up will be confirmed the next few days. So that's plus more to the point is the high oil price there. Means got high inflation, all sorts of hassles there. Pound's pretty weak. Canadian's doing okay. It's in the weak zone. It's the top of the range. The problem I say aggressive, there's not much follow through. So we took a tight one in where we took a stop that was only about 30 odd pips, just over 30 pip stop, and about a 55, 60 pip TP for an aggressive short down the bottom of that range you can see on the chart. Okay, so if you want to have a look at it, I'll put it up for you. With a stop loss in at 1.5311, which is at least above the round figure. And with the TP down at 1506. Yeah. That's what we had there, okay? As it turns out, it's popped up a bit as we speak. So you've only got a 30 pipper micro, but it's extremely aggressive. It seemed to be holding below the 10-day moving average, the red line, got the maroon line. That's highly aggressive. So if you want to take the risk of joining it now, you can, and you might even join it now and maybe put the stop up a little bit, maybe to 53.20, I don't know. But that's what we looked at this morning. And at the moment, it's about 7-8 pips in the red, but it might come right. But that's what we looked at. That's the highly aggressive one. It's a bit aggressive your taste. We'll move on to the other one, which was a long on the CADJPY. Again, if you're in it, please keep repeating it. Don't listen. Don't go if you're already in. It's just another one that came back to attempt to go back in again. 105.73 we got in at. Again, to revisit, I said 107 better or better. It's slightly better now. So if you want to join that, you're getting a better price. So if you miss this one, you want to get in, it's a better price. Put the stop in at 106.65. And you're getting it. What's this now? The stop's obviously wrong. 105.13. Sorry, 0.15. Big part's my writing. Okay, that was the one. If you want to get in on that one, that was the other one we came up this morning. Couldn't find anything else so far. Looked at everything else. Okay. So if you missed it or joined a bit late, want to join it, those two done. And if you like this one, you're getting a better price. It's still a bit of momentum down there. A little bit of holding on the 15. Anyway, also. Okay, you got that one, Von Dooley? Any movement? Just looking quickly. Okay, right, knock that off. The other one we're already in, it's doing okay. We modified the stop loss, so whatever happens, you get a win on that trade. If you're in it still, that's fine. Yeah, we did come a cropper on two of them. That was the Euro CHF and the Euro, what was the other one we came a cropper on? GBP, was it? Euro CAD became a cropper and the Euro CHF. Okay, that's right. So that's me completed on that. If you can find a trade, we can talk about clarification and go over stuff. It's up to you guys what you'd like to discuss. But you're not sure of, you just like to voice. You all know how to go to specifications. Left click, right click, specifications, gives you a margin, gives you a contract size information all there. Okay. You all know position size calculator. I think you've got everything else. And you're not sure, just shout. What's Brent doing? Still coming off a bit? Ah, it's coming off nicely, good. So you're not still in that. If you're still in, Brent, don't forget modify your stop. Maybe put it to getting near TP now. So get it down to 95. Okay. Okay, that's fine. No, CHF JPY is a buy. Doing very well. Very well. It's doing okay. Well, it's doing very well. It's doing very well. Got 142. Some guys got it at 141.70 odd. They're flying. Some of them might have been stopped up by modifying the stop loss. As far as I know, I'm still in there. I'm modifying mine. I haven't checked them here, obviously. But that's doing nicely. Hold it. Come back a bit. It's a 15-minute chart, remember? It's come back a bit, but it's sort of seemed to be surviving. The buyers coming defending. So move your stop up. Where should you move your stop up? Maybe one, whatever. Move your stop, protect yourself, bottom line. 142.30 or something like that, or 40. Protect yourself and see if we can ride to get more out of it. GBP one, we want to talk about just you entered there. GBP CAD's an aggressive one for a sell. That was a sell. Put it up again for you because not much else going on, so we'll do that quickly. I think it's still there. Yeah, still there. That was a sell. I keep saying an aggressive sell. Tell you why. I look at the daily. You'll see what I mean when I show on the daily. Pretty tight range. Okay, so we'll sell it there. Fairly very tight stop. Hope we take it down. So it's only about 40 odd pip a micro, and it's only about what's from there down to stop. It's only about 70 pips there if you get it. So on that one, if you take this one, it's about $3. Osborne, you're in dollars. It's about $3 or so risk per micro. Do you want to risk $3 a micro? Maybe go for it. Remember, it's quite simple on dollars because it's 10 cents a pip. So if the stop loss is 30 pips away, it's clearly $3 a micro risk, which is quite simple. And Rand's got to do the, obviously got to multiply it by the Rand, which has gone pretty weak now on that subject. It's over 17 again. Yep, 17.12. So I won't be going to New York anytime soon. Okay. You wouldn't be selling Faith. You wouldn't be selling the CHAJPY. You buy the retracement. But you won't enter it now, hey? Okay. And the CAD JPY. This clearly is a sell. The other one is a buy. Getting a slightly better price, still a bit of momentum. If you haven't entered, maybe get 105.60 or better. Whatever. I think it's a better price. Remember, if we put out a price, enter at 105.70, and it's one up to buy it, not sell it, clearly. It's the other way around, you're selling it. And it's a better price, well, clearly you buy at a better price. I think you can go into this price, yeah, let's look at the momentum. Give me a bit of down momentum, but look at the 15 minutes, a bit of support there. So you can get a bit of down momentum there. So if you like that, get per micro, there you are. Any questions? Any questions, guys? Getting a bit of a bounce, you speak. That's one. Good, yeah. You certainly do that. Can I knock this off? You got it? Always come back to it. Yeah, we got the TP in the original one for 92. The original trade idea, if you remember, Osborne, that was sent out by myself, was 102 entrance roundabout there, 92 TP, 107 stop loss. Clearly, you'd be modifying if you're still in Brent down to eventually stopped out. I got stopped out because I modified at 96. I'm not on board anymore. Some guys might still be on board. Some guys might not even modify it or whatever they do, I would say. I give the information, they do what they can with it. They do what they will with it. It seems to still pulling back. We might get the 92 TP, who knows? Your question probably is, if you're on board, modify a stop loss. If you're not on board, you can't chase it now, far too late. You want to chase it down to 92. It might even get lower to 90, who knows? But I wouldn't be chasing it now, and I certainly wouldn't be buying it. The momentum's clearly still down, so you certainly wouldn't be buying it. So you got stopped out too, but you should have been stopped out in the profit because you did very well that one. Okay. You should have at least got 96, $6 a movement in the price in theory, depending if you're too quick to jump out. People get nerves when it goes well and they take the profits too quick and then hold on to their losses, hoping it's going to come right. So 1-2 losses usually wipe out half a dozen winners. That's the problem with the average trader. And that's why they send out winning trades, but they end up, the losing ones count for more than the winning ones because the fear of holding onto a winner. So hit the stop loss, that's fine. But in theory, if you went in the proper price on the signal, you should have been stopped out in the profit if you modify. But you need to keep a bit of a gap. Don't get the stop too quick. Let's say it come down 1 or 2 and you come down to 100 and you're doing okay. You put about 30, 40 cents away, you're going to get stopped out. You need to keep at least $1.50 or more. You can jump around a bit. So you need to, if you're not sure, Osborne, just send a WhatsApp and I'll remark and give you a stop loss deal. You got my details. Okay, right. Where was I? But that's unfortunately majority do. And then they come back and complain. But they take 10 rand every time they make a profit. And the loss goes 50, 60, 80, 90, and they hold on hoping. No. The fear is overcoming the rationality. That's what happens. But yeah, I see some. I'm saying anything could happen now. Could bounce, can go further down. We've got the 92 TP. Don't chase it. Whatever, leave it alone. If you did well out of it, great. But don't chase it now. So don't buy. That's seriously getting into a trend. I cannot overemphasize, guys, how much a mental game this is. If you're mentally strong and disciplined, you do far better than reading up a book and 50 different indicators and be some sort of mathematical bloody savant. You know what I'm saying? It's understanding the human basic emotions. You've got to be an amateur psychologist in this business. Because once the emotions take over, the rational goes out the window. I've seen some pretty bright people do some extraordinary things when the emotion kicks in. I read a book, a bit of a tome, for a better word, 1,000-page tome on the Second World War. Hitler's rise to power till the end, you know. There's a guy called John Toland, I read him. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner, American guy. And it's fascinating reading it because it's just pure psychology. All the horrors and all the other aspects, it's pure psychology. Ordinary people put in extraordinary situations and behaving like monsters. It's quite incredible. Some more I gleaned out of that. It's not how bad or good we are. It's how absolutely emotional we are and how that takes over our logical sight so easily. And that's somehow got to be disciplined. And I think that person is the reason why a lot of billionaires become billionaires, and why sports stars become so brilliant, like the basketball guys, say Michael Jordan, and the tennis stars, and the Williams, who's got through, beat the number 2 seed, for goodness sake, in a swan song. So it's mental strength, mental discipline, absolutely. And the major problem as well people have is the attorney looking for the no-brainer, the something for nothing. If you want something for nothing, money in the bank, 5% or 6% or whatever you can get, and there you go. Might not be inflation, but it's a no-brainer. If you want to take an ultra safety, you've got to cut risk. Cut risk, you cut the return. There's no such thing as a no-brainer. And everyone who's got nothing wants to have something, and they're looking for the shortcut. Unfortunately, that usually comes back and bites. Some of us get lucky, don't get me wrong, but often it comes back and bites. Someone comes up preaching you've never met before, some sort of easy money idea, the radar should be going off. In fact, if I'm going to find some way of making very easy money, lots of it, I'm not going to dilute it by explaining to everybody in the market. I'm going to keep myself and my loved ones. And I'm certainly not going to drive out and come and see you guys I've never met before in my life. Not you guys on here. I mean, I've never met before, and then charge them for something that's going to make what for? I'm already a millionaire from this wonderful scheme. Thinking rationally is so important. And getting rid of this sort of something for nothing attitude. I had one guy, he put 200 in his account, he wanted to make 5,000 rand a month. I don't quite know how to answer that question. It just floors me. All I say is, what the hell have you got to vote for? That's probably half the problem. And anyway, if you thought a bit, if you could do that, why put in 200? Yeah, put a lot more in, you can borrow the money. It's just purely something for nothing attitude. Unfortunately, it bites. Be careful. Don't pay a doctor all that money if it was that easy. Don't forget. If it's easy, isn't that worth what? If it's skill, that's right. Remember it's a zero-sum game, guys? The losers pay the winners. The winners are the ones that come to train them, understand the stuff, get themselves organized, get the right equipment, get properly funded capital, not trying to know a cheap phone and a couple of bucks in their account and want to start competing with the big boys. How's that going to happen? Yeah. No, but it's not everyone that wants to do that. That's a given, actually. It's what they want to do, is what they want. They've got no skills to offer, but they want a lot in return. That's what the problem. It's a worldwide situation. Just heard, guys, a bit hectic. Where was it now? I was just telling us somewhere this morning, they're picking up illegal immigrants and chuck them in the back of vans and there's a big roadblock somewhere. The guy told me I forgot where it is now. And been sitting in this roadblock for about an hour, going about 300 meters, while there's a big stopping to pick up illegal guys. And the problem is not so much the illegality, which is legal, number one. It's the problem, a lot of those guys not coming with something to offer. If the guys are coming to put $1 million into their country or coming with highly skilled, probably say, no problem, you stay with pleasure, mate. It's the guys who have not value to offer, but want to take in return. That's where the problem comes in. Always got to think, not what I want, what am I going to give to get what I want? If you go in thinking, I've got nothing to give, but I want everything, it's not going to happen. It's got to be some sort of balance, common sense. Got one guy who's on a live chat, who's not in here, got quite narky with me because I said, you can't trade with a 125-year account. I haven't got enough margin. He said, I'm going to take my business elsewhere. But where's he going to take it? You know what I'm saying? It's an absolute pandemic, actually. That's what, unfortunately, a lot of salespeople work on, that psychology, selling the dream rather than reality, something for nothing. And when times are tough, desperate, that want takes over, their emotion takes over their thinking, and that's why they often get caught. You're not going to get a doctor's job after paging through a 20-page book on medicine. You know what I mean? In fact, that's what a lot of problems in politics. A lot of these guys are promising all sorts of wonderful stuff, which is basically money's got to come from somewhere, and they're spending it to get a vote. They're buying votes, and it's extremely irresponsible. Anyway, we don't have any trades at the moment, as you know. So we've got another 20 minutes. Anything else want to go over stuff that you're not sure of? We had a question the other day. Ashley asked it. You might have another one or two. Anybody else? Osborne, Tilly, anybody there? Not sure of something. Got some guys still in Brent on the, well, I'm not saying they are, but they are. And I'm glad to see it's coming off because they're short, good stuff. Okay, quick, but keep in touch, as mentioned yesterday, Osborne. Keep in touch. Everything I say, I tend to do what I say I'm going to do. Try not to make promises I can't fulfill. Big thing I want to build up here, guys, it might be harsh sometimes, but build up some sort of trust. Some of the truth is harsh, but rather have that than some pie in the sky. Of course we can, that's what we're here for. This takes total precedence. You see, the problem with this is you want to sell it, but I just think you can get a better price. Yeah, I think it was slightly higher than expected. Forget now, it came out, it was on Wednesday, slightly higher than expected, if I remember rightly. On the oil inventories, that is. Yeah, Buffett, I want to sell it, but I want to sell it higher up. I'm hoping it's going to get back to that magenta line. See it there, it's about 1.770, somewhere about there. I'm not sure I'm keen on chasing it now. I think it's the lowest ever been, actually. Don't you, how's it found it's been this low before? If never in the history of our zone be anywhere near this. Certainly nothing like parity. I don't get that bad, but still. Yeah, to sell, but not here. I think we've missed that trade. We've done a couple of them, done okay, but we're out now. I wouldn't be chasing it now. Anyone want to chase the pound where it is at the moment? Could be losing steam. What the oil, you mean? Could be losing steam. This might be losing steam. I don't know. The dollar's still hovering, better word, just below 109. You know, there's a couple of pullbacks there, as you can see, profit taking. Overall trend still down. So I'm not sure chasing that. Brent's to say 92 we're aiming at. Could come down there even low. I think if it breaks 92, I think 90 might. Let's get a look at Brent. I think 90 might hold if I remember rightly. Give me check this thing. All right, 90. Can it get to 90? 91, say. 91, we might get a bounce at 91. I think that's a likelihood. So it gets down there and starts moving up, we might get a buy there. I think the oil producers are not going to get back to, you know, back into the 80s somehow. I think we might bounce up. To me, it's a range trade between about 90 and about 102 on the Brent. What I want to ask, what's your take trading retail for a beginner? Well, I don't see what you mean by retail. When we talk about traders per se, you get the retail traders, that's the man in the street, and you get the institutional traders or the wholesale traders, and probably the word used actually wholesale. The wholesale traders are the institutional guys. You know, they have $1 billion books or $100 million books, or, you know, what do you call it, Alexander Forbes and what's your name, Gray. These guys, this country and overseas at Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, these institutional guys, they're the wholesale traders. Okay, so the wholesale trade is an institution, retail, even your high net worth is still a retail guy. So if you get Joe Soap and he's got $1 million account for a $5 million account, if it's him on his own aspect, he's not trading somebody else. In other words, it's his own account he's trading, he's a retail trader. And retail trade has gone up unbelievably over the last 2, 3 years. They're big players now. There used to be a tiny part of the market. Now they count collectively, often individually, probably not, because on individually the money is fairly small. But collectively, we have so many millions and millions now. I don't know. There's about 30, 40 million retail traders, probably even more. I don't know. But I know there's a hell of a lot. And because collectively now they count. The trouble with a lot of retail traders, they're trading without any form of strategy, purely on an emotion. So it can cause some jip to the professionals because they're trading irrationally. You know what I'm saying? You think, well, why is that going up? Well, get a load of guys for whatever reason jumping in there and buying. Well, why are they buying this? Because the pro thinks logically. And he forgets the amateurs just haven't got a strategy. They feel like it. So often they don't get the position size right. They're jumping in because it seems like good fun. Yeah. I mean, I know from where we are now, we've got a lot of guys out there who really don't even know the basics. They're still trying to trade. A lot of them don't even know what a margin is, or they're in derivatives or leveraged. They decide they're going to get it, not the paid for any education and jump in and hope for the best sort of thing. And that can often give us problems because it's irrational what they're doing. They'll suddenly think, oh, that's a good idea. I'll go and sell the dollar and buy the bloody jack of the pound, you know. You see a bit of a jump. What's happening here, you know? Well, I said kill it. It's always going to be tough, but you'll certainly have a good chance of doing something. Yeah. If you don't have your skills, you tell me an industry, a skilled industry, that you can make it unless you're incredibly lucky. And will that luck continue if you have no skills? And unfortunately, you need a bit of experience as well. Experience short on practice. And that's why I try to get people to come here once they've got the basics, because then they can now brush up on the practical aspect. I don't want guys rushing around too many books and theory. Theory and practice is not always one and the same. You need the basics, and then you get the practical aspects. And that's what I try to produce here, and Ashley, of course, as well. But I can only speak for myself, the practical aspects. Get the charts uncluttered. Don't have them cluttered. In fact, no, so I'm taking that off, actually. If you like it, keep it. I prefer uncluttered. So like I did just now, showed you, you can go through, have a look at it, see its potential, and keep an eye on what's happening in the United States, the economic calendar, look at the candles, see what the buyers and sellers are doing, and get your position size right. And, you know, don't have to overcomplicate it. And the next thing is, which is the most difficult thing of all, work on that personal discipline. Well, Cheryl says quite rightly sometimes, patience. I mean, ask Ashley. Ashley's, I've only been here a couple of months, and I think she'll back me up and say what she learned the last couple of months attending here is far more than playing around the previous 6 months or whatever. I can't speak for her, but I'm guessing that she'll have to back me up, and that's great. You agree? Yeah, you've learned stuff. Thanks for that response. Yeah, it's made a big difference, hasn't it? That's the practical aspect. And there's guys bury themselves in books, and as I say, that's fine, but you need the practical. US dollar CAD. Now, before we look at it, Zeph, I know you're a bit more experienced. So I want to say they're both pretty strong. I prefer strong against the weak, but you know, they're both pretty strong. That's what puts me off. Right, that's the weekly. My problem is there, it's whereas the momentum's clearly up, the dollar's king at the moment, we know that. But I get to get the follow through and buying that. So there's a bit of resistance there. Let's look at the weekly again. See, just get this out of the way. See, there's a bit of resistance around these levels here. The momentum clearly out. There's no sellers at the moment, but would you want to be chasing it here? Yeah, on the weekly, you could chase it. Fair bit of upside there. That's, you know, it's 120, what, 1,200 point, 120 point, 120 pips, sorry, 120 pips. There's upside there, but where are you going to put your stop? If you put it down here, you're not going to get the reward. This reward, you have to put the 4 out on that one. You still stick the 120 pip target and maybe use this as a stop. I'm not keen at all. Now what's happened? There we are. Yeah, you could maybe use the 4 hour to find a stop and use the weekly to put your TP in if it breaks through the resistance. But I think it's going to have some noise at 1.32, and I think it might even get some lot of profit taking. I think there's a lot of guys with TPs at the round figure there. I think we might get a pullback and then might go back up again. I'm favouring the US to go and the Canadian. I agree on that one, but I'm not sure I'll be joining it now. I think you get a better price. I think probably the same with the Swissy. Yeah, might get a better price. But again, the Swiss is quite strong. I'd rather do the yen if you get a decent price, or the pound, or the euro, or something like that. Even the Aussie or the New Zealand. But whatever, I wouldn't be selling the dollar there. Okay, I just want to quickly check, see how that aggressive one's getting on. Pound cat. Not too well by the look of it. Might get stopped out. Oh, I said it was aggressive. If you want to do it, it's still there. Haven't got that yet. 153 might hold. If it does, you might come right. CAD JPY, it's got any movement back up, and it's still coming off. Still coming off. Okay. I still see upside there. So if you haven't joined it, I still see a join on that one. Maybe got the stop below that. So it's still okay if you're oriented. For those who haven't, I've got a better price to enter it. Yeah, depending, I think a lot of fundamental interference there, Seth. But there, we've got support, quite a bit of support there. If you haven't taken this one, I think you've got a nice chance on this one. And maybe you can put a slightly wider stop if you go in now. Yeah, you can put a nice wide stop down there. Make it 105. It's below the 200. I think you're going to be okay there. So that about the euro, so no guarantees, eh? And then take the 106.65. Get a decent risk reward. I think you've got a nice chance. If you haven't gone in, I think it's a good chance on this one. Thank you, Werner. Thank you very much. Okay, so there we are. I've got a couple of minutes left. Anything you want to check over? CAD JPY, we've got that up and running yet. That's what we've been talking about. If you want to take that, there you are. Any buyers coming in on this one? Not yet. Brent's come off a bit, that's probably why. Still, see if you put the stop below there, I think it should be okay, but it's coming off a bit. It might come down here and bounce, I don't know, but yeah, I think there's a possibility there. Well, yeah, looking at it now. Why, we won't put the risk calculator up again. Put up for another one there. I'll put a slightly different stop loss, put it below there then. About there. TP will stick the same one. There you are. Okay. Any questions? If not, we'll carry on this afternoon, have a look at some shares, might be some possibilities there, and we'll take it from there. Any questions? Are we happy? It could come back down there. We've seen a bit of down momentum, yeah. But keep an eye on the buys there, okay? You're happy. Okay, guys, we'll see how it goes from there. Cheers now. Thanks very much for joining, everybody. Hope you all learned stuff and see how we make an aggressive one. Doesn't really count too much. It was aggressive. For those who want to take it, we'll see how they catch JPY and maybe get a possible this afternoon. I'm hoping so. Thanks very much indeed. Cheers, Ed. Bye. Cheers.